Yo, what's happening, people? Back again for another stream. Don't forget to smash the like button and don't forget to subscribe to my channel at Gav Goes In. So, just going to touch on the Man United versus Aston Villa game. Um, to be honest with you, I spent half my time laughing because for me it's just how Man United keep getting away with this is ridiculous. I mean in the bigger picture, obviously the 3 points. But if you watch the game was it was Aston Villa's game really. I think Villa was a bit wasteful up front, and I think that just shows a difference in if United are playing against a team that has better quality up top, they'll be on the end of a hiding. Let's be honest, because I'm not sure how many shots Villa had, but I know it was definitely above 10. So um, yeah, this team is just this manager and the team are just getting away with it at the moment. I do believe things will even itself out, but yeah, for Ten Hag is just getting away with it. So yeah, it's I think it's frustrating for people that actually love the game, that actually study football, like myself. I mean, I want to see good football, and this team hasn't played anywhere near good football the whole season. And then for them to nick it at the end, yeah, it doesn't really fill me with any joy. To be honest with you, it's a frustrating watching Man United. So, but yeah, as I said, they got the 3 points. But yeah, this manager, yeah, he has to be at the end now of his luck because he can't keep going on. I mean, performances itself, I'm not going to go into too much detail. I mean, I think the defense played quite well. I think Dallo was the best player on the pitch in terms of both defending and attacking. I think Dallo's just going from strength to strength, really. And I think he's cemented himself easily now as, for me, not only the best right back at Man United, but I believe I reckon he's probably up there with the best right backs in the league. He has a bit of everything. He's quick. He's strong. He's good on the ball. He can dribble. He can take his man on. He's got a good passing range. He can cross as well, as was evidence for the winner. So yeah, I think he's the one player that can come out of the game with his reputation intact. Still some poor performances. I mean, if we touch on Hoyland, I know Hoyland got his goal, and obviously for the stats, it will look good. Obviously, I think he's won his last 5 games now, but his general play for the whole 90 minutes was, or for when he was on, should I say, was poor again. I keep hearing he's not getting chances, but if you're not getting chances as a striker, you have to be moving around to go and receive the ball. You don't just stay on the last man or just try and run in behind and hope that a chance is gonna come about. Too many times he's just a peripheral figure in the game. He's just not involved. His link play, to be fair, isn't. I mean, it's been better than it was, but in the grand scheme of things, it's been pretty poor. So he gets pushed off the ball too easily as well. So yeah, that needs to improve. But as I said, people just look at the numbers, which is a sad indictment of football now. So they'll be looking at him thinking he's scored again, and but forgetting. I believe he went the first 15 games or so without a goal, but all of a sudden now he's got 5 goals in his last 5 games, and people will start telling you he's the guy, he's back, blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff. But real ones that watch the game will know. Um, the wide players in Garnacho and Rashford. Rashford had a very underwhelming game. As I said in my last stream, Rashford seems to be playing within himself. I don't particularly believe he's happy. I think there is reasons why he's not happy. Garnacho, not much to be said about this guy. I keep saying the same thing. Just doesn't really offer nothing except intent with the ball. Just keeps running, and then he'd eventually get a shot off. Which, if you're running at that pace, you need to show more composure. He's a very frustrating player, Garnacho, and the sooner people realize that he is not the player that you think he is, the expectation will be put to a minimal. Because I heard someone yesterday that I've watched for the first that I see for the first time a clip, and he was saying that Real Madrid are scouting Garnacho and Rasmus Højlund. Now, where that's come from, I don't know. Until I hear Real Madrid come out and say they're actually scouting these two players, for me, it's just a load of nonsense. Why will Real Madrid be scouting two players that, let's be honest with you, shouldn't really be playing for Man United? If Man United are a team that is looking to improve, out of three of them, the youngsters, the only player with real quality is Kobbie Mainoo, and you can see that. The other two are just players that just show a lot of energy and run. And at a top club like Real Madrid, that's not the requirements. So for me, Real Madrid are never going to go in for Rasmus and Garnacho. For a start, Garnacho is nowhere near the level of Vinicius Junior. He's nowhere near the level of Rodrigo, and you got young Endrick coming in as well for the striking position. And no doubt, Real Madrid will try and go and get an Mbappe, or even there's talk about Erling Haaland. So I don't know where this Højlund nonsense is coming from. He ain't good enough to play for Real Madrid. He's not even good enough to play for Man United, and that's the truth. And the same goes with Garnacho. And then obviously onto the midfield, I think with Kobbie and Casemiro, I think Kobbie just had he's becoming very consistent. He's used to the ball, is class. He's never rushed, always in control of what he's doing. As I say, didn't have a spectacular game, but you can just see the quality he has on the ball. He's just so, he's so composed, and it's good to see Man United finally have a player of that quality who's come through the youth with that composure, and long may it continue. Because he's going to be a top player. Casemiro had a very good game, in my opinion. Got booked early in the first half. I think it was a bit of a harsh booking, but the experience and discipline of the player allowed him to just go through the second half and just basically just act as a shield for the defense, and just intercepts and make crucial tackles as well. So I think that's a very good performance from Casemiro. Showed his leadership qualities as well, and was integral in that midfield in the second half. Bruno Fernandes. I mean, this guy is not only is he a poor footballer, but he's also a poor leader, in my opinion. I believe, when you're always moaning to the referee, there's a flaw in your character there, and it also shows that there's a flaw in your actual personality, and you're having to moan at the referee every game to hide deficiencies in your game. He's meant to be a captain, and every second this guy's just moaning. Moaning if he's not getting a free kick, if he gives a foul away. People will look at that and say he's a winner. He ain't no winner. You know what I mean? It's just he's just a moaner. Like let's be honest. And as I said to you before, which I'm going to touch on in a bit, the quicker this guy is removed from captaincy, the quicker he's removed from the lineup, the better football you're going to see. And you can see that Man United going places if that happens. Another poor performance. Giving the ball away consistently as always. So yeah, another poor game from him. And then, as I say, I've touched already on the defense. Yeah, I think the defense as a whole played well. I don't think what's his face, Harry Maguire. I mean, everyone knows Harry Maguire's threat from corners. You know, what I mean, he's very dominant in the air, and you would expect that. I don't think he had too much really to do in terms of defending from on the floor. But yeah, I think he played okay, and obviously with Martinez out injured, he's going to play regularly next to Varane. So yeah, just another average performance really. And then Onana in goal. I think Onana made a couple of good saves. I think he made a very good save from John McGinn. I think the Ollie Watkins one, I believe if Ollie Watkins puts that anywhere but straight at Onana, that goes in. And I think a few of the other ones as well, I think they were just straight at him, you know, and he just got his body in the way. The Watkins one in the first half where Watkins should have come onto the ball. I think that was a bit of a textbook save, really, because Watkins didn't really give Onana much to think about in that sense. But I think, yeah, Onana can be happy with his performance, made some key saves. So, yeah, and obviously United got the win at the end. And then we move on to the subs. Obviously, McTominay come on with the header. I think that's what McTominay offers. Anything else in the midfield in terms of being able to progress the ball, you know, and picking out a pass, he ain't going to do that. So it's either one or two things with him. He either gets moved on in the summer or he stays as a squad player where he just comes on for the last 15 minutes if you're chasing the goal. Because that's all he's suited to. He ain't good enough to be starting if Man United are looking to be serious and get back into the Champions League on a regular basis and try and compete for a title, which obviously seems a long way off. So yeah, that was that. How Ahmad never comes on the pitch again. As I said, I think I've said this every week now, and the manager's just not changing. So yeah, it's criminal how Ahmad is not getting any game time, but yet you see the likes of Garnacho playing almost 90 minutes every game. It's a disgrace. But hopefully, as I said, hopefully Man United get a new manager in the summer, and or even before that, and then we start seeing Ahmad get more game time. So yeah, that's the reaction from the Man United game. Not a great performance, but ultimately 3 points, and you move on to the next game, which is Luton away on Sunday. So I'm just going to touch on some Man United summer targets in who they should be looking at. Now, for me, I've got a list of who Man United should be targeting, and I've put some ambitious targets, which I don't believe, obviously, they're going to come to Man United, but obviously a lot of it depends on Champions League as well, and the club looking to move these guys on, or if they receive a suitable offer. But I believe United should be targeting. So I've gone for left back. I purposely didn't touch on Luke Shaw in the match reaction because let's be honest, Luke Shaw is injury prone and has been injury prone. And if Man United start saying Anthony Martial has been injury prone, they have to be looking at Luke Shaw as well. Me personally, I would keep Martial because the striker market isn't great, and Martial's got qualities that no other striker at United has, you know. And I believe in a good system, you know, with a team that does is unselfish for one and does look to create for the striker. Martial can be restored. It's whether he wants to stay or not. Obviously, his contract's running down. I'm hoping that that the club and him do agree a new contract because I still believe he's got much to offer. I mean, he's 28, so he's in the peak of his career at the moment. Obviously, he's having an operation at the moment, which is a small operation. So let's hope that them injuries are once and for all done. And bearing in mind, he's not really been injured. He's not been injured this season anyway, until obviously now, where he obviously decided to take the operation because he wasn't playing. But yeah, so back to Luke Shaw. For me, Luke Shaw has to be moved on now. And who are replacing with is a certain left back at by Leverkusen, Alejandro Grimaldo. I would bring in Grimaldo. I reckon you can be able to get Grimaldo for, I would say about 30, between 30 and 40 million. I reckon you can get Grimaldo in for. He's a modern day fullback, up and down, overlapping. Very good on the ball as well. He's a threat from set pieces. I think this season already he's got. I want to say he's got. I think he might have 10 goals and 11 assists as well from left back, which is incredible. Let's be honest, But I would bring in Grimaldo. I think Grimaldo is a very good player. He's someone, as I said, that in terms of the modern day fullback, he gives you a bit of everything. He's good defensively as well. And I believe that for Man United, if they wanna really, really go somewhere, they need to be, as I said, be targeting players like this. He's having a very good season in an unbeaten by Leverkusen team who are 5 points clear at the top, and he's been a major part of that. So for me, I would look to be bringing in Grimaldo, and then I would look at and see what's happening with Malacia. I do think Malacia does deserve another chance to stay, providing his fitness. But I would bring in Grimaldo and then have Malacia competing with Grimaldo and moving on Luke Shaw, because Luke Shaw's ultimately is unreliable, which doesn't get talked about enough, but I'd move him on. The centre-back targets. Now, I've gone for an ambitious target. This is someone who I believe he's one of the best centre-backs in the world, in my opinion, and that's Ronald Arroyo from Barcelona. I've seen times he's been playing at right back for Barca, which I don't understand. For me, if Man United could have a chance to get him, if Varane is looking at leaving, and they get rid of Maguire and Lindelof, I think bringing in someone like Arroyo is a no-brainer. Very quick, very strong, good in possession, dominant in the air. Still young as well. I think he's about 20. I want to say about 24, 25. Very good player, and obviously with Barca's financial problems, I just want to see Man United at least test the waters with a bid, but he's someone that I would love to bring in at Man United. Very, very good player, and he could be the long-term successor to Varane, and be of that level. So hopefully United look at him. I've also obviously gone for Jean-Claire Todibo at Nice as well. Another player that I think is a very good player. Funny enough, Arroyo's at Barcelona. Todibo used to be at Barcelona, just like Arroyo, good in possession, strong and quick. Reads the game very well as well. Right-footed. So as I say, if Varane wants to move on and you move on Maguire and Lindelof, another player that will be a very good signing, and I think you can get him for quite cheap as well. With Arroyo, Barcelona wouldn't want to sell Arroyo, so you're looking at offering something of north of 60 million to even get Barca to the table. But he's a very good player for me, Todibo as well. And then I've gone for two younger centre-backs. Jorel Hato at Ajax, left-footed centre-back, can play left-back as well. I think if United wanted to have like an understudy to Martinez, if he can stay fit, or someone to take over from Martinez, I think this guy has potential to be a very good player. I think he's been linked with Arsenal as well. But I've seen him play a few times, and yeah, he does look special. I think he's 17 or 18, but he does look like he's got a bright future ahead. His composure on the balls is good, and he's very quick as well. So I'd like United to be signing someone like that. And also another player at Sporting Lisbon called Ousmane Diomande, who's a very, very good player as well, from Ivory Coast. So, he's going to have the physical attributes as a centre-back already. And I think him and Hato, I think, should be two signings that for the future, United should be going after these kind of players, because I believe these two, if United are not looking at these two, you're going to see these two end up at the likes of a Barcelona, Man City, a Real Madrid, that kind of caliber of teams. So hoping United have their eyes on those two. But for me, yeah, Ronald Arroyo and Todibo would be very good signings um, to add to the squad. Then we move on to centre midfield. Now, uh, I've gone for Warren Zaire-Emery at PSG. Another one who's quite an ambitious target, as PSG are not going to want to let him go. But I'm just showing the caliber of players that United should be looking at and moving on certain players. So Warren Zaire-Emery at PSG, another youngster. Obviously, he's got a couple of caps for France now as well. But he's a very good player. You know, I think he's quite similar in the mold of Kobe Minu in terms of his composure on the ball. I think he might be more. He's more athletic, I think, than Kobe Minu in terms of he's more box to box, whereas Minu's more of a passer. You know, but he won't be someone that's be easily to be signed. But as I said, I just hope United just kind of look at these kind of signings, which will be good for the future. Same with João Neves as well. João Neves is a good player as well. More of a playmaker, I would say. A number 8 or a number 6 he can play, but I think number 8 is probably his best position. Yeah, very good young player, Portuguese. So I mean, for me, if you're looking to bring in someone like him, another player that's going to be targeted by the bigger clubs. Obviously, Benfica have a track record of selling players at ridiculous money, i.e., top player. But obviously, João Felix was signed for about 100 million from to Atletico Madrid. But yeah, João Neves is a very good player. Look at targeting him as well. And then I've gone for two ambitious targets, which, well, to be honest, you ain't going to get them. But this is the kind of caliber of players you want to see in the midfield. And that's Eduardo Camavinga and Aurelian Tchouameni. For me, two of the best young midfielders in the game right now. These are just ambitious targets. I mean, you ain't going to get them, you know. But I would like to see Man United's intent in at least showing an interest or making a bid and letting these clubs think about the offers. You know, I think these two obviously will go on to dominate France's midfield for years to come. Both are internationals, and both are obviously playing at Real Madrid. I think Camavinga's playing a bit more than Tchouameni. But I believe next season, I think Modric will be moved on. Tony Cruz, I think, might be a bit of a peripheral figure in the game. So I believe you see Tchouameni and playing a lot more, and the same with Camavinga. But if Man United could have a chance to get any one of them, which, as I said already, is not possible, then what signings they would be for the club. Number 10s. For me, Man United have to go out and get Eze. I've said it before. This guy is a top 4 player, easily. You know, for me, I'd be starting him for England. I'd give him that number 10 position for England, and just let him just be a free spirit and play his game, because he's that good. You know, I think if United was to put in a 50 million bid for Eze, I think Palace would take it. You know, Eze probably might push the move himself, but Man United have to get a number 10 to play in that role and remove Bruno Fernandes. You know, Eze is a top player. I mean, you know, he can dribble, he can shoot, he can pass. He's strong. He's got pace. He can take a free kick. Like there's no weakness in his game really from an attacking aspect. You know, he can break the lines for his dribbling as well. He'd be a great player for United to sign. So I'm hoping in the summer United go in for him, you know, and at least have a number 10 that is capable of knitting midfield and attack together. So he's someone that I would definitely go for. And along with another Bayer Leverkusen player, Florian Wirtz. For me, Florian Wirtz, I can see Florian Wirtz at Barcelona. He's that type of player. For me, he's very, very similar to Pedri. Who's another top player who I'd love to have at United. But just like Camavinga and Tchouameni, these players will be near enough impossible to get. But Florian Wirtz, a top player. I think there was a stat saying I think he's created the most chances in Europe's top 5 leagues. If you just watch him play, you can just see the composure and the quality he has. And there's no surprise why Bayer Leverkusen are top, and he's been a massive part of that. Another player like Eze, I'd like to bring in a number 10 position. He would cost more than Grimaldo. I think with Florian Wirtz, you'll be looking at about 70 mil, 80 mil. Hopefully not. But I think due to the quality of the player, and I believe Bayern Munich will be sniffing around him as well. I say as well as like Barcelona. But hopefully United are interested in looking at him as well for the summer market, along with Eze to play in that 10. And then we move on to attacking midfield on the right-hand side. For me, there's only one player I think United should be looking at, and that's Michael Olise. Just like Eze, top player, left-footed, great delivery of the ball, good dribbler, can pass the ball, you know what I mean? So just like Eze, I mean, Man United should be putting in a joint bid for both of them and testing Crystal Palace to see what it would take to get them. Because I think these two will transform United's attack, in my opinion. I know Olise has been a bit injury prone lately, but I think for next season, United should be tracking him, making him a priority signing, and then moving Anthony on, and then bringing Ahmad through as well, and having him and Ahmad battle it out for that right hand side. Both will be left footed, both can invert. So I think that's how Man United need to be going. I don't want to see Garnacho on the right hand side. I don't want to see Garnacho play full stop, if I'm honest, only if he's going to be an impact sub. So yeah, Olise is a must for me. Very, very good player. And I believe if he can keep fit, I believe you're looking at one of the best right wingers in the world. If Man United could bring him in. And then we go to ambitious targets, which me personally, this ain't going to happen. But if it did, then I think Man United will really be showing everyone that they're not messing around. And that's Vinicius Junior and Jamal Musiala, two of the best players in the world. Obviously, Vinicius Junior plays left wing. If there was a hint that Real Madrid wanted to make space or move him on, which ain't really going to happen, Man United need to be at the front of the queue for him. I mean, pay what it takes. He is, for me, he's the best player in the world. I know people might say Mbappe. I know people might say Erling Haaland because of goals. Vinicius Junior is the best player in the world. He's proven it. His last performance, he had 2 goals and he had 1 goal and an assist and 2 assists. Ridiculous player. He is he's the best player in the world right now, currently. Like, no arguments, And if Man United was to move Rashford on, or let's say Real Madrid wanted to do a swap deal, which I say I can't see happening. But if they're to move Rashford on and free up his wages, go and target Vinicius Junior. The guy's a top player, As I said, putting him on that left-hand side, if it was possible, would transform the whole club. Because you'll have the best player in the world currently at the club, and yeah, it'll be good. But can I see it happening? It's very, very, very unlikely. And the same with Jamal Musiala. Musiala can play in the 10, can play in the left as well. Another target that hopefully Man United will be looking at. I've heard like murmurings that he's unhappy. I mean, I don't know how true that is, but yeah, if he could be signed as well, or just at least United show an attempt to try and get him, to try and show that that's the kind of players they're looking at, would be great. But yeah, I think two targets which are very unlikely, but we can dream. And then we go on to the striker position. So for me, I believe there's only one player I believe that should be targeted, and that is Ivan Toney. I think Ivan Toney is very underrated. You know, Ivan Toney for me, as an all-round striker, in terms of link play, goals, assists, he's a technician. He's a threat in the air. He's strong. He's got decent pace. I believe he's the best striker in the league from an all-round aspect. You know, I know people will say to you Erling Haaland, but Erling Haaland's all-round game isn't better than Ivan Toney. And Erling Haaland is playing in a Man City team that play for him and create chances and are the best team in the league. So, is there a surprise he's scoring that many goals? Obviously, we know he's a box striker. He does score a lot of goals, but I believe if Ivan Toney was in the same system, I believe Ivan Toney would be thriving and score as many goals as Haaland as well. I think Ivan Toney's 27, 28. Man United should be targeting him, and I believe if whatever team he goes to, and I'm hoping he doesn't go to an Arsenal, but I believe if he goes to a Chelsea, if he comes to a Man United, you're cementing yourself as a top 4 club, in my opinion. Obviously, the aim isn't top 4; the aim's the league. But I think step by step, I think you're cementing yourself for the top 4 and looking to do more than that. Really, he's a top player for me, Ivan Toney. You know, and I can see him moving from strength to strength, especially if he goes to a big club. So hopefully, Man United are looking at him. And in that striker department, as I mentioned already, if you've got 3 strikers in Martial, Toney, and Højlund, for me, 2's ideal, I would say. But if Martial was to not sign a new contract and move on, Ivan Toney just needs to be signed and be made the main man. And if you're going to keep Rasmus, you keep Rasmus as understudy, and then Rasmus can obviously come in for last 20 minutes when he's got fresh legs. I heard someone the other day saying if Ivan Toney was to come in, he'd be playing as backup to Rasmus Højlund. I mean, I don't know what these people are talking about. You know, what makes them think Ivan Toney for a start would be playing backup to Højlund when he's better than him? Doesn't make sense, you know. But as I said, yeah, Ivan Toney, top player, and hopefully United do come in with a bid in the summer for him, as it's very clear he's going to be leaving Brentford, you know. So yeah, that was my signings for the summer. Obviously, very unlikely that all these signings will be, well, highly unlikely, should I say, that all these signings will be made. But hopefully, United do look at that list and think to themselves, you know, let's start targeting players of that quality, and let's start removing some of the players that ultimately just ain't good enough, you know. Hope you guys like my video. Don't forget to smash the like button, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel at Gab Goes In. And I'll catch you later in the week for another stream. Take it easy.